Hello, grade 7 learners. Welcome to my Zone online school. My name is Pietres Futo, and then together with me here, I am joined by Pomwena. Let's welcome Pomwene. Let's sanitize our hands, and then we maintain the social distance. Okay. Science, grade 7, lesson 3, sexuality and sexual health, STDs, HIV, and AIDS. Okay, grade 7 learners, let's all turn to page 22. First of all, we are going to look at our basic competence for today. The first basic competence says that a learner in grade 7 must be able to describe different ways of showing affections that are safe. And then the second one says that a learner must be able to describe sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, in terms of transmission, preventions, and then the consequence. And then it says that a learner must be able to explain what HIV is. And then the next one says that explain how HIV is transmitted, and then name the body fluid that can be infected with HIV. And then the last one says that explain what HIV and AIDS are, how they attack and then destroy the body, and then that people with HIV usually don't show any sign or symptom, but they can still spread the disease. Okay, before we move on, we need to look at our keywords. The keywords are as follows. The first one says sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. These are the diseases that transmit from one person to another person through unprotected sexual intercourse. And then the second keyword, it says they are affection. Affection is a friendly or a loving feeling toward people around you. Thank you. Then, as it says, our first competence says, a learner in grade 7 must be able to describe different ways of showing affection that are safe. So the different ways of showing affection that are safe are as follows: by hugging, holding hands, shaking hands, walking arm in arm, having picnics, having fun together, kissing. But then as you are kissing, you must take some cautions, because it can be that the person that you are kissing is having some if the person that you are kissing have an open lips, have an open cut on his or her lips, then that, and then you're also having an open cut on your lips, that might end up transmitting the virus. And then the last one, it says by giving presents. All of us, we know that, especially on the 14th of February, the day that we know as our Valentine's Day. Most of us, we give and then we receive presents from our loved one. As a result, that's also a way of showing affection to our friends. Okay, let's move on. The next thing, it says that we must be able to describe sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, in terms of transmission, prevention, and then consequence. So meaning that, first of all, we are going to look at how these STDs, they transmit. And then the second thing, we are going to look at how to prevent them from transmitting. And then the last thing, we are going to look at the consequence. But first of all, let's look at some examples of STDs. Examples of STDs are HIV and AIDS, the syphilis, the gonorrhea, the chancroids, and then the genital warts. Let's move on. Let's now look at how these diseases transmit. As it says, how can these diseases be transmitted or spread from one person to another person? These diseases can transmit or through exchanging of semen during sexual intercourse. Another way how they transmit through blood or vaginal fluid contact. Thank you. Let's move on again. Let's now look at how we can prevent the spreading of these diseases. As it says, how can the spreading of these diseases be prevented? So you can prevent the spreading of these diseases by avoiding the contact of body fluids, such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, and then many more. And then another way of preventing the spread of these diseases is by use of condoms all times during sexual intercourse, or to make it short, by condomizing. And then what are the consequences of getting these STDs? So the consequences are as illness, or to say they causes illness, causes death, causes blindness, risk of cancer in women, genital warts, and then it also results in the inability of having children, and then it also causes madness. Okay, then the next thing that we need to look at, it says that as a learner in grade 7, you must be able to explain what HIV is. HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, and it's a virus that causes the disease AIDS. Okay, then we are moving on to the next thing that you need to know today. Okay. We are moving on to page 24. On page 24, it says that you must be able to explain how HIV is transmitted and how HIV is transmitted and HIV can spread. Okay, let's make a change here. Where it's written, it says explain how HIV is transmitted and HIV can be spread quickly. I want all of us just to erase or to draw a line from and HIV can spread quickly from one person to another in the following ways. I want us to remove that one. Then you will just end where it says explain how HIV is transmitted. Then that will be right. So HIV is transmitted through sexual intercourse, or to be specific by saying HIV is transmitted through unprotected sexual intercourse. And then another way it says it is transmitted through blood contact, and then it is also transmitted from mother to child during birth. Then we are also required to know the body fluids that can be infected with HIV. The body fluids that can be infected with HIV, we speak of the semen, we speak about the vaginal fluids, or to say the discharges, we speak about the blood, and then we speak about the salivas. Those are the body fluids that can be infected with HIV. The next thing that you need to know in today's lesson is what is HIV and then AIDS. HIV is a human virus, while AIDS is a disease caused by HIV. And then HIV stands for Human Deficiency Virus, while AIDS stands for Acquired Immune Deficient Syndrome. Then the last thing that we need to look at today, it says that we must be able to explain how HIV and AIDS attacks and then destroy the body, and then that people with HIV usually don't show any sign or symptom, but they can still spread the disease. Okay, how does HIV attack and then destroy the immune system? It says, when HIV or AIDS enters the body, it attacks the body's immune system, specifically the white blood cell. These white blood cells are the ones that protect our body from being infected by bacteria or viruses. However, when the white blood cells are attacked by HIV or AIDS, the body's immunity becomes weaker and then weaker. When the immunity becomes weak, the body will no longer be able to fight against illness. Therefore, different diseases such as TB will just pop in the body. That's how HIV and AIDS attack and then destroy the body. So in today's lesson, we have looked at different ways of showing affection that are safe. Then he said, okay, so in today's lesson, we have looked at different ways of showing affections that are safe. And then he said that different ways of showing affection that are safe, we speak about hugging, kissing, shaking hands, and then many more. So long as you make sure that the thing that you are doing, it's safe, it will not result in you getting some other STDs such as HIV and AIDS. Okay, and then we have also looked at what? Sexually transmitted diseases, or to say STDs, in terms of how they spread, how to prevent the spreading of these diseases, and then the consequences. And then he said, these STDs, they spread from one person to another person through body fluids, such as the semen, the vaginal fluids, and then others. They also spread through unprotected sexual intercourse. And then we have also looked at how to prevent the spreading of these STDs. We say that you can prevent the spreading of these STDs by avoiding the contact of body fluids. And then you have also said that we can prevent the spreading of these diseases by using a condom whenever we are involved in sexual intercourse. And then the next thing that we have looked at what is HIV. We say that HIV is a human virus that attack and then destroy the body's immune system. And then the next thing that we have looked at, we have looked at how HIV is transmitted, and then we have looked at the body fluids that can be infected by the virus. So we say that HIV is transmitted from one person to another person by means of what? Blood contact, from mother to child, during birth, and then through unprotected sexual intercourse. And then the last thing that we have looked at, we have looked at how HIV and AIDS attacks and then destroy the body's immune system. Then he said, once HIV and AIDS enters your body, it attacks and then destroys your body's immune system. Specifically what? Specifically the white blood cell. These are the cells that protect our bodies from being infected by different viruses and then many more. However, when these cells are then being what? When these cells are then being attacked, it means that our body's immune system will not be able to fight against different diseases. All right, Mr. Futo has prepared some questions for you here. And then let's all turn to page 25, where we will find our questions. As it's written in the activity 1, number 1, describe different ways of showing affections that are safe. I think that all of us, you can answer this question. Number 2, describe sexually transmitted diseases, or to say STDs, in terms of transmission, prevention, and then the consequence thereof. And then number 3 says, explain what HIV is. The second last question says that explain how HIV is transmitted and then name the body fluids that can be infected with HIV. And then the last one says that explain what HIV and AIDS are, how they attack and then destroy the body. So I'm hoping that all of us will be able to answer these questions. But then if you happen to find out that you are struggling to answer 1 or 2 questions, please go through again. Thank you, and then have a blessed day. But then don't forget to sanitize your hand, and then you keep the social distance between you and then the next person. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi, and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!